Deep within the shadows of Japan's majestic Mount Fuji lies Aokigahara, notoriously known as the Suicide Forest or the Sea of Trees. A place shrouded in grim mystique, whispered to be a gateway to another realm, where the very earth seems to conspire against the living, twisting the senses and stealing hope. Here compasses fail, and ancient tormented spirits linger, drawing the lost further into its grasp with an unseen, insidious pull that defies all rational thought and scientific explanation. Visitors describe an unsettling, profound silence, an oppressive atmosphere so dense it feels as though the forest itself is holding its breath, drawing despair from deep within one's soul, chilling them to the bone. Locals and urban legends abound with tales of mysterious lights dancing between the trees, disembodied voices carried on the wind, sometimes mournful, sometimes mocking, and unexplained phenomena that defy all logic and reason. They speak of countless souls who entered its verdant depths, never to return, their stories dissolving into the forest's dark, unforgiving embrace, leaving only whispers in their wake. Some recount sudden, irrational urges, an almost hypnotic feeling of being pulled deeper by an unseen, malevolent force, a crushing weight upon their spirit. Others report terrifying encounters with apparitions, pale figures glimpsed through the shifting mist, only to vanish into thin air, leaving behind an unbearable, profound chill that lingers long after they are gone. From a historical perspective, Aokigahara's dark reputation is not entirely new. As historians often note, dense, isolated forests in Japanese folklore have long been associated with powerful spirits, both benevolent and malevolent. During periods of severe famine and hardship, particularly in the 18th and 19th centuries, some impoverished families practiced ubasut, the abandonment of elderly or infirm relatives in remote places, including forests, to die. While not exclusive to Aokigahara, this practice, born of desperation, imbued such areas with a profound sense of sorrow and despair, creating a historical precedent for the forest's current tragic association. It's speculated that the echoes of these desperate acts, the sorrow of those abandoned, and the spiritual weight of such practices may have contributed to the pervasive, lingering malevolence reported today. Furthermore, ancient myths and old records reveal a deeper, more chilling connection to the supernatural. Early Japanese texts, like the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, speak of forests as sacred yet dangerous domains, home to fearsome yokai and vengeful kami. Some myths describe specific forest deities who demand tribute or punish trespassers. Old regional records sometimes allude to demon-infested woods or areas where the veil between worlds is thin, warning travelers to avoid them. Aokigahara, specifically, has long been rumored to be a place where the barrier between the living and the dead weakens, a notion reinforced by its unique geological features, such as the magnetic anomalies. These ancient beliefs suggest that the forest's sinister nature is not a modern phenomenon, but rather a deeply ingrained spiritual characteristic, predating its more recent tragic history. Tracing a chilling timeline, the earliest informal warnings against entering Aokigahara stretch back centuries, rooted in its folklore. The ubasut practices, particularly rampant during the Edo period, 17th, 19th centuries, cemented the forest's association with death and abandonment. More recently, in the mid-20th century, a popular novel titled Kuroi Jukai, Black Sea of Trees, tragically romanticized the forest as a place for lovers to end their lives, inadvertently drawing increased attention and contributing to its modern reputation. Despite concerted efforts by local authorities in recent decades to deter visitors and remove warning signs, the forest's magnetic pull, both literal and metaphorical, remains undeniably strong, drawing countless individuals into its depths year after year. Legend says the forest is heavily haunted by yurei, the restless, vengeful spirits of those who died tragically within its confines, their earthly ties severed in sorrow and rage. These ethereal beings are said to lure lost souls even deeper into the dense woods, their melancholic whispers carried on the frigid wind, their chilling presence permeating the very air to its core, freezing the blood in one's veins. But the lore extends further. Ancient folklore speaks of the ubum, the anguished spirits of women who died in childbirth, or those who lost their beloved children. They are said to eternally wander Aokigahara, forever searching for their lost babies. their mournful cries echoing through the ancient trees, capable of ensnaring the living in their endless cycle of sorrow and despair, driving them to madness. Beyond these specific entities, Aokigahara is said to harbor far darker forces. Reports speak of fleeting, shadowy figures that move with unnatural speed and purpose, not merely melancholic spirits, but malevolent entities that actively seek to ensnare and torment. These are not merely echoes of the past, but powerful negative energies that feed on despair, growing stronger with each lost soul. The forest itself is believed to be imbued with a sinister life force, its ancient roots and twisted trees absorbing the sorrow and suffering, becoming a living, breathing entity of darkness, a predator in its own right. Visitors have described experiencing overwhelming dread, inexplicable sadness, and even hallucinations, feeling their own will erode as the forest's oppressive energy infiltrates their minds, whispering temptations of oblivion. Objects are said to move on their own, and strange, chilling winds can manifest even on the stillest days, a palpable presence of the unseen, a predatory breath. Numerous accounts from those who dared to venture too deep describe more than just feelings. They speak of definite, horrifying sightings. Hikers and researchers have reported encountering translucent figures, often in the periphery of their vision, sometimes briefly solidifying before their eyes. A pale woman in a traditional kimono, her face obscured by long hair, a child, lost and weeping, only to vanish with a shriek, or shadowy, elongated forms that seem to observe from the dense undergrowth, their eyes like pinpricks of pure darkness. One survivor recounted seeing a figure, hollow-eyed and almost shimmering with cold, standing motionlessly amongst the trees, its gaze heavy with ancient sorrow, only to vanish when directly looked at, leaving an imprint of fear. Others tell of faint glowing lights deep within the forest, moving independently, as if carried by unseen hands or entities, beckoning the curious deeper into the maze. These aren't just stories, they are the chilling testimonies of those who have truly touched the veil between worlds within Aokigahara, experiencing its dark embrace firsthand. This dense, eerie woodland holds profound, terrifying secrets, a haunting, desolate beauty, inextricably entwined with unbearable sorrow and tragedy, forever shrouded in paranormal mystique, a chilling testament to the myriad souls it has claimed and the terrifying legends it continues to inspire.
Deep within the heart of New Jersey lies a vast, mysterious wilderness known as the Pine Barrens, a place shrouded in folklore and fear, where the very air seems to hum with untold secrets, and the ancient pines stand as silent witnesses to centuries of enigma. Long before colonial settlers arrived, the Lenape people revered this land, weaving narratives of nature, spirits, sacred sites, and the powerful, unseen forces that shape their world. These indigenous stories speak of the deep wisdom held within the ancient trees, the protective keeper of the pines, who watched over the forest, and the water maidens by the stained cedar waters, whose songs could guide or mislead travelers depending on their respect for the land. Their folklore emphasized a delicate balance with nature, warning against disturbing ancient places or disrespecting the spirits that called the Barrens home. Evidence of their deep spiritual connection remains, with whispers of hidden ritual sites and sacred grounds still echoing in the oldest parts of the forest. As European settlers encroached, they brought their own fears and wonders. Whispers of the Black Dog traverse the ancient paths, a silent, foreboding omen of ill luck or even death for those who stray too far from known trails. And near the coastal edges, the infamous pirate Captain Kidd is said to have buried immense treasures, his spectral form still walking the shores, a headless specter guarding his hoard, luring the greedy to their doom. Tales of vanished travelers, disoriented by the Barrens' labyrinthine paths, and strange figures seen just beyond the tree line, further cement this wilderness as a place where the ordinary ceases to exist. Adding to the Barrens' already profound mystique are the persistent reports of unexplained aerial phenomena. For decades, residents and visitors have reported inexplicable lights in the vast, unpopulated skies above the pinelands. Silent, glowing orbs, rapid aerial maneuvers defying conventional aircraft, and even structured craft moving with impossible speeds. Tales of UFO sightings are surprisingly common here. Is it the sheer isolation providing a clear canvas for the unknown, or something deeper, drawing these strange visitors to a place already steeped in enigma? These aren't just historical footnotes. For generations, these stories have been woven into the very fabric of the local communities. Ask any true Piney, and they'll share a tale passed down through their family, a brush with the unexplained, or a chilling experience in the deep woods. "You learn to respect these woods," one elder might tell you. "Some things out there, they ain't just animals." Another might recount an unnerving silence or a sudden chill, always followed by the lingering feeling of not being alone. Their testimonies paint a vivid picture of a landscape imbued with living folklore, where the veil between the ordinary and the extraordinary is thin. The Barrens isn't just a place on a map. It's a character in their lives, shaping their cautious respect for the wilderness and feeding an enduring sense of awe and apprehension. What draws such varied and unsettling mysteries to this particular stretch of wilderness? Modern-day researchers, historians, and paranormal investigators continue to venture into the Barrens, armed with technology and a thirst for truth, seeking to uncover what lies beneath the layers of folklore. Yet, the Barrens remain elusive. Many report a profound sense of disorientation, a feeling of being watched, or even experiencing strange distortions of time while deep within its confines. Skeptics offer rational explanations, yet the sheer volume and consistency of these accounts leave many questioning the known boundaries of reality. The Pine Barrens doesn't just hold secrets, it seems to actively protect them. A vast, living enigma where the veil between worlds feels thin and the unexplained thrives. In the heart of New Jersey lies a sprawling 1 million-acre wilderness known as the Pine Barrens. This is not a place of scenic hikes and postcard views. It is a labyrinth of gnarled pines, shrouded in mist, where the cedar-stained water runs black. The air hangs heavy with a silence that feels ancient, a deep, primal quiet that suggests something primordial is listening. For over 2 centuries, this desolate landscape has been the domain of a creature born from a mother's curse and a stormy night. A terror that stalks the shadows, forever watching from the depths of the forest. This is the hunting ground of the Jersey Devil. The genesis of this evil began in the bleak colonial era back in 1735. Deep within the pines, a woman known as Mother Leeds, already burdened with 12 children and facing desperate poverty, discovered she was pregnant once more. During a violent thunderstorm, in a moment of sheer anguish, she cursed the unborn child, crying out, "Let this one be a devil." The legend says her wish was granted. That night, she gave birth not to a child, but to a monstrosity. Accounts describe a hideous creature with leathery, bat-like wings, the head of a horse, and glowing red eyes. With a terrifying, otherworldly shriek, the infant monster thrashed about the room, mauling its own family before unfurling its wings, smashing through the roof, and disappearing into the stormy darkness of the Pine Barrens, never to be seen by its mother again. From that cursed night, the creature's horrific form has been etched into the psyche of all who dare to venture into the pines. Eyewitnesses have pieced together a terrifying portrait, a bipedal beast standing taller than a man, with a long serpentine body covered in dark fur or scales. Its head is said to be horse-like, with long horns, and its face is frozen in a demonic glare, punctuated by 2 burning red eyes. It possesses long, slender arms ending in razor-sharp claws, capable of rending flesh and leaving deep gouges in trees. But its most defining feature is the pair of large, leathery wings that allow it to swoop silently through the dense canopy. Its presence is often first announced by a blood-curdling scream that echoes for miles, a sound that paralyzes animals and humans alike with pure, instinctual fear. While it began as folklore, the Jersey Devil cemented its place in history through waves of documented panic. The most infamous of these occurred during one terrifying week in January 1909, Over 1,000 people across more than 30 towns in the Delaware Valley reported seeing the creature. It was sighted on rooftops in Bristol, Pennsylvania, and heard screeching over Trenton, New Jersey. It left strange, cloven hoofprints in the snow that baffled seasoned woodsmen. Panic gripped the region. Schools closed. Mills shut down as workers refused to travel at night, and armed posses formed to hunt the beast. Newspapers ran sensational headlines, offering bounties for its capture, dead or alive. The 1909 panic transformed the Jersey Devil from a local ghost story into a tangible threat. A monster that had seemingly emerged from the wilderness to terrorize civilization. Beyond the headlines and historical hysteria, the legend of the Jersey Devil lives on in the hushed, whispered tales of the people who call the Pine Barrens home. Generations have passed down chilling personal encounters, unexplainable tracks found by a stream, eerie cries that pierce the quiet of night, and the deeply unsettling feeling of being watched from the tree line. For many locals, this isn't just a story. It's a living reality woven into the fabric of their community. They speak of a profound respect, bordering on fear, for certain parts of the woods, areas they know to avoid after dark. These first-hand accounts, shared from one generation to the next, solidify the belief that something ancient and malevolent still patrols their wilderness. Even in our modern world of smartphones and constant surveillance, the shadow of the Jersey Devil endures. Recent years have brought a fresh wave of sightings, captured in blurry phone footage, or as unexplained noises on nighttime recordings. A fleeting glimpse of a dark shape soaring against the moon. A chilling scream caught on a deer cam. The legend has permeated local culture, appearing on everything from business signs to sports team mascots. It is the definitive myth of the region, a dark icon that embodies the wild, untamable spirit of the Pine Barrens. Skepticism and belief exist side by side, but the question remains. As dusk settles over the vast, misty expanse of the Pine Barrens, the forest retreats into an impenetrable darkness. The mystery of this place feels eternal, its secrets locked away beneath the whispering pines. Was the Jersey Devil merely a product of folklore, born from the fear of the unknown? Or is it a real living creature, the last of its kind, lurking just beyond the reach of our modern world? As a distant, unidentifiable screech echoes and fades into the night, one thing is certain. In the deep woods of New Jersey, some legends refuse to die.